The chair recognizes Mr. Van Drew.
Thank you, Chair. You know, instead of implementing the mandates guaranteed in the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration is moving forward with a proposed speed limit mandate. This rule would potentially limit trucks over 26,000 pounds, and I don't have to tell you all, you know this already, to a single top speed of 60 miles an hour through the use of an electronic engine control unit, which is called ECU, that will be capable of governing a truck's speed regardless of the speed limit. On top of this, the Biden administration has been fast-tracking their woke climate change agenda, which is leaving the American people and the transportation industry dangerously vulnerable. It's going to create a lot of problems in the future. In the next 10 years, the administration's goal is to force more than half of the people into electric vehicles, but our power grid can't take it. It's unreasonable. It doesn't make sense. It's not an all-of-the-above approach. And it's not ready for this rushed implementation, which is purely for the sake of politics. And I've always believed that good politics is good government. Well, this is bad government, and it's bad politics. Our grid was never designed to support a fully electric economy, and the push far outpaces the demand for electrification. A recent study commissioned by the Clean Freight Coalition stated that the price to build out the supporting charging infrastructure to fully electrify the trucking industry, everybody ready for this, would cost $1 trillion. Not $1 billion, $1 trillion. A large burden of that cost being borne by who? Trucking fleets. And again, of course, if the trucking fleets are absorbing it, who is really ultimately going to be placed in the chopping block here? The American consumer. They're going to pay the price. And I'm telling you, Americans, American citizens, American consumers are getting tired of it. They're tired of politicians coming up with crazy plans to fulfill their political agenda that accomplish nothing and, worse yet, actually hurt. And to the end of the day, both groups are going to pay more, and all the money that goes to this faceless entity that does nothing to help the American consumer or the trucker. And I would maintain the trucker and the American consumer are in this together, and they're in lockstep, because if the trucker gets hurt, the consumer gets hurt. Mr. Pugh, the trucking industry moves 72% of the nation's freight with slim margins. Again, as you know better than I do. What will be the impact to the trucking industry and, most importantly, the consumer if you're forced to electrify on the current timelines and the current proposals?
Yes, thank you. And if I may, the American trucker is getting a little tired of it too, just like the American consumer. They're tired of being the guinea pigs for all this stuff that comes out of EPA. We were the guinea pigs in 2008, we were the guinea pigs in 2011, and we're going to be the guinea pigs again. And what's happened every time we've been a guinea pig is a whole sector of our industry got wiped out because they couldn't afford this, either couldn't afford it, or once they got it, it didn't work like it was supposed to, and they couldn't afford the maintenance to maintain it and to keep these kind of trucks on the road. Truckers want clean air. We all want clean air and clean water. But let's let the free market figure this out. Free market always does better than government heavy-handedness.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And I just want you to know that I believe the majority on this committee supports the truckers, supports the hard work that you do. I mean, Americans support it, because guess what? If you're not there moving goods across this great country of ours, the American people are the ones that are going to suffer, and they know how hard you work. It's a hard job. It's not easy, and we appreciate it. There's also been legislation introduced to Congress that would increase the minimum required liability insurance level for motor carriers by more than 500%. Not 5%, not 50%, 500%. From the current levels of $750,000 to $5 million. This is obviously a tremendous increase that I suspect would have a major impact on trucking companies, especially the smaller ones. This is a country of small businesses, but we keep, when I say we, I don't mean all of us in Congress, but there are some folks that keep forgetting about the basis of this country, which is hard-working men and women who are small businesses. So for once, we don't, again, do something to help the small businessmen, but maybe the one time we will. Can you explain, Mr. Pugh, how the current system is working and what the effects of these proposed changes would have?
Yeah, I mean, the current system is working pretty well. There's been plenty of studies come right out of Washington that over 99.4% of all accidents are covered with what the 750,000 it is today. That's 750,000 just for history. That was just sort of pulled out of the air. It wasn't like they did a study or anything to come up with it, and it continues to work and it's covering. I don't think there's too many laws or regulations here that come out of Washington, D.C. that cover 99.4% of all things. And the other 0.6, they said there's no amount of money that could cover it. If you raise these minimums 500%, this is nothing but a sellout to all the trial lawyers who've got the billboards all up and down the highways saying, sue trucker, sue trucker, sue trucker. Can't go anywhere without seeing these billboards, sue. You're in a truck accident, sue. We forget that over 80% of these accidents are caused by the car, and the cars never carry enough insurance to cover the loss of the trucker. Nobody wants to talk about that.
It's all you see on TV, and I'm going to wrap up with this. American people are tired of it. Of course, the truckers are tired of it. And you know what? I don't mean to be crude here, but we're tired of the hard-working average American in whatever job consistently being screwed by politicians. Thank you for your work. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. We've concluded